The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
John MOUSINHO has revealed Pompey's interest in winger Genoa Marcello, using Coventry's £4.3 million signing as a stark warning about the high-stakes reality of summer recruitment at Fratton Park. As Pompey prepare for life back in the Championship, the Blues boss stressed that they won't have the luxury of being able to miss on key signings, particularly if they get the green light to spend more significantly. MOUSINHO pointed to Marcello, who Pompey pursued in January, as a prime example of how rivals can operate on a different financial planet. After Coventry won the race for his signature, the £4.3 million winger has played just 44 minutes, a situation MOUSINHO says Pompey simply couldn't afford. Other clubs can do £2.5 million, £3 million, and it doesn't matter so much if it doesn't quite work out, MOUSINHO said. I don't think Coventry will mind me saying this, but we looked at Marcello in January. He ends up going to Coventry for £4 million, £4.5 million. When we spoke to them after the game last Tuesday, their take was he's done great and he's been brilliant since he's been in the building, but he was always a long-term signing. They were not thinking about him impacting the first team this season. If he did, then great, but they've got plenty of other players who can play wide. It's an extreme example, but we couldn't afford to do that. There are other clubs who can probably afford to miss as well, but it's not like that with us. It doesn't feel like we can. With crucial talks scheduled this week to clarify the summer transfer budget, MOUSINHO is optimistic about being backed by the club's owners. He acknowledges, however, that any big money additions will need to hit the ground running. Even with a bigger budget, the manager knows nothing is guaranteed when it comes to bringing in the right players. It's difficult because recruitment isn't straightforward. He added, "You can do everything right, take players for the right reasons, do all your background work, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. I can give you 1,000 examples over the years of that happening. You can have players playing well at a certain level with a certain club, and it doesn't transfer. It's not always transferable."
Genoa Guevara Marcello. He's 23 years old. He's Dutch, born in Amsterdam. There's not much of him. He's 1.71 metres. I still can't do that in my head. He's 5'7", I can get that. He's an out-and-out winger. But here's the thing. He doesn't score a lot of goals. He played 40 times for Zurich and only got 6. And he hasn't been playing for Coventry. Can you imagine what it must be like to be valued at £4 to £4.5 million? And then when somebody buys you, you get 44 minutes playing time across an entire season. So he's an obvious candidate for sending out on loan, and he was with an extremely successful football club in this season that's just ending, and a very successful manager. So if any of that has rubbed off on him, then he would be a welcome addition.
The football news agency Football Insider is running the rumour that Portsmouth are heading the list of clubs interested in signing up-and-coming Aston Villa number 10 Tommy O'Reilly. O'Reilly is currently on loan at Crewe, where he was handed the club's Player of the Season award by his teammates. Football Insider reports that a number of clubs in League One are keen to take the 22-year-old who can play either in the hole or on the wing. He's contracted to Aston Villa until 2028, so they will decide his next move. He's been at the Villa. Football Insider report that Villa are keen for him to continue his development in the EF land. Pompey's top card in attracting his services as a loanee will almost certainly be that they will offer him a more taxing environment.
I had a quick look at him, and he's got a cheeky chappy look about him. He's 22, but he could pass for 12. And he's not that much bigger than a 12-year-old either. At 5'7", that's what he says he is. He'll have to ask Connor Chaplin to get the stuff down from the top shelf for him. But John MOUSINHO doesn't mind having slight players in the three. That he plays 4-2-3-1 generally, and the three, somebody in the middle, in the hole, and two players who can go out wide. He doesn't mind if you can blow them over. He values their skill and speed, which often they have a little bit more of than some of the other forwards that you get in the Championship who are built like double-decker buses. He's been with Aston Villa for a very long time, so they put a lot of work into him. Tommy Dylan O'Reilly is his full name. and it will come as no surprise to you to learn that he's from Birmingham. He's not Irish. Well, he probably obviously has some sort of Irish roots in him, O'Reilly, but he's a Birmingham lad, and I'm just looking to see whether he's been picked to play for England at any level. I don't think he has, but he did win the FA Youth Cup with Aston Villa 4 years ago, and he got his debut call-up for Aston Villa when Steven Gerrard was the manager there. So that's Tommy O'Reilly. Tommy with an I. Don't know why. Tommi. The traditional spelling, I suppose you might say. Chief football writer Daniel Storey of the I paper has penned a very thoughtful piece about why John Mousinho might be on the move sooner rather than later.
If we don't invest on and off the pitch, Mousinho said, I think we'll perennially be in this relegation fight and we need to try to move away from it. Which is true, but the finances of English football are scary for everyone and terrifying for any club that has tasted the poison of administration. And Michael Eisner knows that only too well. No club can survive for the long term in this system, and if that continues, catastrophe will happen. Eisner said in March, we need effective player salary cost controls, real attention to fairer distribution of media revenues. My family is walking headstrong into this storm, but if I was a historic fan in Portsmouth, I'd scream for change in the structure to protect the beautiful game. The problem, Portsmouth have two conflicting forces that they must fight their way through. They have invested in the academy, but it is still Category 3. They are aiming to improve their player trading model. They have signed 7 players on permanent deals aged between 20 and 25 this season. Eisner has transferred the majority of his shares to his sons as a means of future-proofing. He is 84. But all these are long-term projects, and the short-term aim is keeping one of the best managers in their history happy. There will be suitors for Mousinho this summer, and he deserves them. It would be brilliant to believe in the club and manager growing together into a promotion contender, but it takes a huge suspension of belief. Portsmouth, a club accustomed to walking through a storm and remaining whole, are having to continuously rebottle lightning or risk their own financial future again. That seems deeply unfair.
The words of Daniel Storey, the chief football writer of the I paper. Those are some of his words anyway. It's a very long piece. We haven't got time for all of it, but it's extremely thoughtful. I think it's very well informed, but he offers some interesting insights, stating that John Mousinho is far too bright for Pompey to keep if they aren't serious candidates for promotion. And if the club retains the business model that's been in place since the Eisners took over, then they never will be promotion candidates, serious promotion candidates. And because John Mousinho almost certainly sees the possibilities that he could join the ranks of the elite managers of this world and the Premier League, he is going to have to consider at least some of the offers that are going to start coming his way, and for all we know, they could be coming his way right now.